Did you grow up with a talking dog that turned invisible? Or a crime-fighting caveman with a gadget-filled club? No? Well, you probably did and just forgot about it. The 70s gave us some of the most outlandish cartoons ever. And today, we're counting down the top 10 weirdest ones that you probably don't remember, but absolutely shaped your childhood. From spooky ghosts cracking jokes to rock bands blasting off into space, these shows had it all, and then some. Let's dive into the strange, nostalgic world of 70s cartoons. Number 10. The Funky Phantom, 1971 to 1972. We're starting off with The Funky Phantom, a show that blended ghostly adventures with the classic mystery-solving gang formula.
Suffering Saskatchewan! What do we do now?
Imagine this. A group of teens accidentally releases a ghost named Jonathan Wellington Mudsey Muddlemore from a grandfather clock. Mudsey, a ghost from the Revolutionary War, tags along with them as they travel around solving mysteries. Sounds like Scooby-Doo, right? Well, instead of a talking dog, you get a bumbling ghost who sneezes whenever he turns invisible. The Funky Phantom may have been a blatant Scooby-Doo clone, but its paranormal twist and that unforgettable ghostly laugh gave it a place in cartoon history. Even if you've forgotten it, Mudsey still haunts the memories of many who grew up in the 70s. Number 9. Goober and the Ghost Chasers, 1973 to 1975. Speaking of ghosts, Goober and the Ghost Chasers is next on our list. This cartoon followed a group of reporters for a paranormal magazine who, with their dog Goober, traveled across the country solving ghostly mysteries. The twist here is that Goober had the ability to turn invisible whenever he got scared, which, let's be honest, was all the time. Picture Scooby-Doo, but with a dog who literally disappears at the first sign of trouble. Despite its similarities to other Hanna-Barbera shows, Goober and the Ghost Chasers had a charm of its own. It's weird, it's quirky, and it's definitely one of those 70 cartoons you probably don't remember till someone mentions the invisible dog. Number 8. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, 1973 to 1974. At number 8, we've got Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids. Now, if you're thinking this has something to do with the famous Wild West outlaws, think again. In this version, Butch Cassidy is the lead singer of a rock band that also happens to solve crimes in their spare time. The band, called the Sundance Kids, uses futuristic gadgets to take down bad guys while on tour. Imagine the Monkees mixed with secret agents, and you get the idea. It's a wild mashup of musical performances and mystery solving. And while it only lasted one season, it remains one of the most bizarre concepts from the 70s. Number 7. Devlin, 1974. Next up is Devlin, a show that attempted to cash in on the popularity of Daredevil Evel Knievel. This cartoon followed Ernie Devlin, a stunt motorcyclist who toured the country performing jaw-dropping stunts while also helping people in trouble along the way. The show had a serious tone for a Saturday morning cartoon, often focusing on moral lessons about honesty, loyalty, and bravery. Devlin was more than just a daredevil. He was a role model. Though it only ran one season, its mix of high-octane stunts and life lessons made it stand out. Plus, who didn't dream of jumping over cars on a motorcycle after watching this show? Number 6. The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan, 1972. Number 6 on our list is The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan. This show featured the famous detective Charlie Chan and his 10 children, who helped him solve mysteries around the world. But here's the twist. The Chan kids also had a pop band. Between solving crimes and playing gigs, they drove around in a van that could transform into different vehicles. The blend of detective work and musical interludes was certainly unique. And while the show didn't last long, it made an impression. It's not every day you see a detective who also manages a family band of crime fighters. Number 5. Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space, 1972 to 1974. Taking the number 5 spot is Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space. If you remember the original Josie and the Pussycats, you'll know that they were a band of crime-solving musicians. But in this spin-off, they took their adventures to the next level, literally. Josie and her bandmates are accidentally launched into space, where they encounter alien civilizations, robots, and strange planets. It's as wild as it sounds. The show only ran for one season, but it was memorable for its sheer absurdity. How did a band of earthbound rockers end up in outer space solving intergalactic mysteries? Only in the 70s. Number 4. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, 1977 to 1980. At number 4, we've got Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, another Hanna-Barbera mystery-solving show. But this one has a prehistoric twist.
Captain Caveman!
Captain Caveman, or Cavey, is a caveman superhero who was frozen in ice and thawed out by 3 teenage girls. Together, they solve mysteries while Cavey uses his club, which can pull out a variety of tools from its seemingly endless storage space. The show was a strange combination of Scooby-Doo style mystery with prehistoric gags, and Cavey's signature cry, Captain Caveman, became a favorite catchphrase for kids in the late 70s. Number 3. The New Schmoo, 1979 to 1980. Taking the number 3 spot is the New Schmoo, based on a character from the Lil Abner comic strip. The Schmoo is a friendly, shape-shifting creature who can turn into almost anything. In this show, the Schmoo joins a group of teenage detectives as they solve mysteries and foil bad guys. The Schmoo's ability to transform into useful objects added a creative twist to the usual mystery-solving format, and his upbeat personality made him a hit with kids. It was a short-lived show, but for those who remember it, the Schmoo's quirky charm was unforgettable. Number 2. Hong Kong Phooey, 1974 to 1976. At number 2 is Hong Kong Phooey, the clumsy yet lovable crime-fighting dog who worked as a janitor by day and a martial arts superhero by night. With his sidekick, a sarcastic cat named Spot, Hong Kong Phooey would take on criminals using his martial arts skills. Though most of the time it was Spot who saved the day. The show was a comedic take on the superhero genre, with Hong Kong Phooey's bumbling efforts providing the laughs. And who can forget that catchy theme song? Hong Kong Phooey, the #1 super guy. It's a show that's weird, funny, and definitely worth remembering. Number 1, The Groovy Ghoulies, 1970 to 1972. And finally, taking the #1 spot is The Groovy Ghoulies. This show featured a group of classic monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and the Wolfman, living together in a haunted castle. But these monsters formed a rock band instead of scaring people, and performed groovy songs between their wacky adventures. The Groovy Ghoulies was a mix of comedy, music, and monster madness, making it one of the strangest cartoons to come out of the 70s. It may not have been as famous as some other monster shows, but its blend of spooky and silly made it a cult favorite. So, whether it's a groovy ghost, a crime-fighting rock band, or a prehistoric superhero, these cartoons took us on some truly wild adventures. It's funny how the weirdest things from our childhood are the ones that stick with us the most, right? Who knew an invisible dog or a bionic stooge would leave such an impression? And just when you think cartoons can't get any stranger, the 70s always has one more surprise up its sleeve. What other hidden gems do you think are lurking in the archives? Something tells me we've only scratched the surface. Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button.